Hey guys, Jason with CV Custom. So today we got another 12 valve. I've had a lot of people saying they want more 12 valve videos. I know I've only done a couple because a lot of the engines lately have been these power strokes, but 12 valves don't need to be rebuilt much. That's kind of where it's at. This old Gen 1 over here is going to need a rebuild. It's got some pretty bad blow-by and a huge lack of power. I think it's isolated to one cylinder, but even at that, you got to rebuild, and that's what we're going to tear into today. So we're going to take a look at how much blow-by is too much, do a compression check, we'll see what cylinder, isolate where the problem actually is, and then in a following video, we'll build the motor. I got to show you guys something because we got a really cool build coming. It's not part of this video, but let's take a break real quick before we fire this up and look at the blow-by. And I'll give you guys a sneak peek on the new big build we're gonna do. It's kind of cool. Okay, like I said, we're just giving a little quick sneak peek here, but this is a 96. It's a 12 valve with a P pump. It's got the MV4500. It's a really neat truck. It's actually in pretty solid shape, but you guys know me. I like taking these motors out and putting them somewhere else. And look what we have over here. Let me get back here so we can get a good view of it. This is a 73 Travelall, and it's going to get the 12 valve P pumped NV4500. We're going to rebuild everything and we're going to drop it in this dude. Now this also has half-ton axles, so we're not going to stop there. We're going to put heavier springs and 3/4 ton axles. That's the project that's coming down the pipe. Let's jump back over to today's project and go look at blow-by. Okay, so I'm gonna run in here and start this thing. I want you guys to kind of hear the hesitation. This thing doesn't fire right up. I had to jump start it to get it over here, so it's not a cold engine. It might fire up a little better, but all these 12 valves, especially with this old rotary, it's usually one revolution and these engines fire right up. It's already got a new VE pump, so we know it's not the injection pump. It's definitely the block, but let's fire it up and check it out. Well, once she's warmed up, she starts all right. We'll pop the hood. Let's take a look inside and look at the blow-by. Okay, before we get too far, one telltale sign. Let me see if I can get a good view of it here. The owner of the truck had to rig this up to hold his dipstick in because the blow-by was so bad when it gets warmed up and everything. So that's another telltale sign you got too much blow-by. Now let's check the blow-by. Alright guys, be careful of the fan. Open this real quick. 12 valves don't really bounce around like that. It's not real bad, but we know he's got cold start issues, and we know it's not running well. And we've got blow-by, so now we'll do the compression check. Okay guys, so as normal for my videos, I'm not going to make you guys watch me work. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to show you compressions for 1 through 6, and we'll talk about what's actually going on inside this engine when we see what our compressions are. You know we're looking for 400 PSI. These engines work with no glow plugs. They need compression to ignite, so if compression is not at that 400 mark or above, we're not going to ignite properly, run smoothly and efficiently. So as usual, what we're going to do, I'm going to loosen the clamps that actually hold it down and just release the lines and shift them out of the way so I can pull the injectors and do our compression test. So let me do that, and when I get back to you, we'll see what we got on one and we'll move down the line. Alright, before we get to the blow-by, I had a little rookie mistake, and me and the fan got in a fight while I was trying to check the blow-by. I actually caught it on film, so I'll put it at the end of the video if you guys want to see me hitting the fan. Apparently it's not really bloody and gory or anything, but I also don't like to hide from you guys when I screw up, and I screwed up. So now we'll get to the blow-by. Okay guys, cylinder 1 did not even hit 300. This is actually the next day because I've never had a harder time getting injectors out. 1, 3, and 5 were absolutely stuck. So anyways, cylinder 1, 300. Let's see cylinder 2. Okay guys, that's cylinder 2 right there. Got maybe 325. This thing is low. I think this whole engine's just tired. Those rings probably gummed up, but let's move on to cylinder 3. Okay, so cylinder 3 didn't even hit 100 psi. I even double checked the fittings and everything. We may have found our dead cylinder. So let's see 4, 5, and 6. Cylinder 4 is above 300. Like I said guys, we're looking for 4, so we know this thing is weak, but we're not going to stop there. Let's see what 5 and 6 are. Cylinder 5 is at about 350. It's better than the others. Let's see 6. Last but not least, cylinder 6 did not hit 300. This engine is ready for rebuild. It could be valves, could be rings, could be the cylinders. Let's talk about it. Okay, so that didn't take too long. We found out cylinder 3 is weak. We know we got a problem. Big question everybody's like looking for, right? Like what we're talking about is blow-by and what causes it. Cylinder walls get worn, and then the compression bleeds past the cylinders and into the crankcase, and then it kicks out the draft tube. Now, on this engine, I think our lack of compression is caused by a couple different things. That's another part of the question, right? So what causes lack of compression? Because we just did our compression check. So cylinder walls, right? Your rings and all that. But then also your valves can cause a lack of compression. And I think that this engine, with how the blow-by wasn't extreme, but it did have a huge lack of power, and it wasn't idling smooth and all those fun things, so we knew something was going on. I think with cylinder 3, I think it's a combination between rings and valves. So obviously it needs a head job. On a job like this engine, would that fix it? If we weren't seeing the blow-by, maybe. But we're seeing the blow-by, so we know we're getting compression past rings somewhere. Did we isolate that? You know, it's possible, because all the other cylinders were under the 400 mark. We could have compression getting past the other rings, and then cylinder 3 has a bad valve. You know, so that could be our lack of compression there, and then we're getting our bleed-by everywhere else. And it could just be that all 6 are just that worn. The rings, if an engine sets for a long time, rings can get stuck inside the pistons themselves, and you lose compression that way. So there's a lot of things that could cause what we're seeing here, but I kind of think this one, it's a combination of both the rings and the valves. Obviously, there's a bigger problem on cylinder 3, so there you have it. We're gonna rebuild it. We'll put that on another video. Thank you guys for stopping by, and for those of you guys who wanted to see the end, to see me fighting with an engine fan, I'll tie it on to the end of the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. So thanks again, and I'll see you later. Okay guys, I know it's a little loud. We're gonna jump up here. Well, shit. Rookie mistake. All right, let's look at the blow-by. Try this again. That's blow-by. I look like an idiot.